In a 2018 Mini Countryman plug-in hybrid. What's the official name for it?
The Cooper Countryman SE All4 is the official name. All4 for the all-wheel drive system, Cooper S for the power, and E for the electric.
Okay, perfect. So the car is basically already running, but obviously it's in all electric mode. So this screen is specific to the plug-in Countryman.
Correct.
Now the plug-in Countryman has three modes in terms of the electric power. You toggle it using this particular button here.
That is correct.
So the Max eDrive is the one which is now the car would be pure electric, and the electric motor powers the rear wheels.
Correct.
The electric motor is around 88 horsepower.
88 horsepower, okay, and about 120 foot-pounds of torque.
Okay, great. And then the engine is actually a three-cylinder 1.5. Is it turbo?
Yes, it is.
With about 120, 130?
134 horsepower, okay, about 162 torque.
Wonderful. So the combined system horsepower is just around 220 or so.
Right, and up to about 280 pound-feet.
Okay, perfect. So the Max eDrive is the first mode. If we keep pressing the button, so this is Max eDrive. Okay, now we're at the top. So we go down to Auto eDrive. This setting would basically use both powertrains, but automatically. It'll switch in between. It'll try and keep it as much as possible in electric, and then once depleted,
actually what it will do is, based on the driver demand at the gas pedal, the situation, whatever it warrants, the car will apply as much power or as little power as necessary. Mm-hmm. More power for acceleration, less power needed if just cruising along.
Okay, great. And then finally the last one is Safe Battery, which basically will be using mainly the gasoline engine.
Correct. In some regions you pay more to drive into a city center with gas power, whereas it is free to go in on electric power. So a situation like that would call for driving to the city center with the gas engine, switching over to full electric power to go into the city core.
Okay, great. So now, in terms of the knowing of how much of an electric car range you have left, it would be this display normally here. Right now it's showing us 80% of the battery.
Correct.
There's probably a way to touch one of these buttons to show the actual kilometer, how many kilometers are
yeah,
left.
so on the tip of the turn signal stalk.
This one here?
Yep, push that button in.
This one in. Gotcha. So
and cycle through that a few times.
Cycles through it. That's 416, that's on the gasoline. There we go. So I don't know if you managed to catch it with the camera, but right now it's showing 20 kilometers at 80% range. Yeah, so let's leave it at that, and let's toggle back to Max eDrive so that we start there. Once we go on the high, we'll try and put it back in the auto, or perhaps even. And now, outside of these three modes, which are specific for the plug-in, there's also the two regular modes. One of them is Sport, the other one is the Green. So in any of those you can still use the Sport or Green, right? So if we, yep.
Yes, typically you'll find that the Sport and the Green mode settings will make more of a difference when you're running at full power. Mm-hmm. It won't make as much of a difference when you're running on electric power alone, okay, only because the goal is to provide maximum range as possible in electric mode only, so it will not typically change the performance, while it may change the steering feel.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So let's start in the normal mode in Max eDrive. I'll just put it in drive, and I guess we're all set to go. So the first thing I remarked when we drove it yesterday was that the car has an artificial creep mode. So it basically tries to imitate a normal automatic transmission, in that as soon as you put it in drive and let your foot off the brake pedal, it'll creep forward automatically.
Correct.
It has a very nice pickup. You don't really need more than that in city driving. It's obviously not as fast as i3 because it has half the horsepower in electric versus the i3. But for this, this is kind of a much more versatile vehicle because it's a all-wheel drive. It's slightly bigger, taller, with more space inside, etc., etc. So the vehicle starts at around, is it 43,000 base MSRP?
The base MSRP, correct, is about 43.5. It will include certain standard features like automatic transmission, the powered trunk. It will include the rear view camera. It will include the parking sensors.
And so the first ones are just starting to arrive in Toronto, Canada, and typically if someone were to order one right now, up to their specs, how long would they have to wait?
The demand is exceeding the supply. We are currently sold out through November production. We are awaiting our December allocations to see how many of them we will get.
Okay.
We received 5 of them at our dealership as Canada's volume leader.
And so basically, what that means, December production would mean that January delivery?
January or February, let's play it safe.
Okay, gotcha. So now we're driving without any climate on. Let's try and turn the climate on, automatic, and see how that would change the... So the estimate of the electric range went down from 20 to about 16, which is normal because the AC is on, etc., etc. So obviously it affects your range.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we'll be heading north on Bayview to give us an idea of basically the driving in the city, and then we'll hit a little piece of the Don Valley southbound so that we can take it up to the highway speed to see how it feels there. Yesterday we took it to about 120. Is there a limit, like a speed limit beyond which it will automatically switch to gasoline, or like what's the top speed in electric?
The top speed in electric should be in the 120, 130 range. I would need to confirm that for you. But yes, once you get to a certain point, the gas engine will need to kick in.
So basically, now the standard equipment is pretty generous already. I think we checked yesterday that the electric gate, the hatch is standard.
Correct.
As are parking sensors.
Yes, and the rear view camera.
Okay, perfect. And the multicolored LEDs where you choose your ambiance, that's standard.
That is. With the addition of the style package, there would be some additional LED lights and a few more configurations with which to use them. But even the basic LED lighting is standard.
Okay, perfect. So now this display was showing the power band, which replaces the old RPM display. Is specific to the plug-in hybrid, and it also changes according to the different modes. So I guess momentarily when we switch to auto, e-drive, and sport, the displays will likely change, especially when we go in a hybrid mode.
Correct.
Once we go to the highway, so we can go to auto, so go down one, I guess.
There you go.
So now we're in auto drive, which will probably engage the engine as soon as we push it beyond the yellow range here.
Correct.
If we try
and we'll see that on our minimalism analyzer there as well, or eDrive analyzer.
And there we go. So as you can see, the whole display changed. Now it's using the electric motor as an e-boost. And it's very peppy in that mode. So now we can change it to sport, which is to the left.
Correct. And that will make your gas pedal a little bit more sensitive, your steering becomes a little bit stiffer, and it will alter a little bit when the automatic transmission changes for the gas engine.
Yeah, it feels very responsive. There is a car in front of us, so we'll take it easy. Okay, so it's basically showing that both systems are engaged now.
Correct.
And then if we try the save mode, which is the final mode, which is all the way down, save, then most likely it'll be an entirely in front-wheel drive gasoline engine mode.
That's right. Unless the system requires power be sent to the rear due to slippery roads, gravel, snow, ice, it will always engage the rear wheels when necessary for traction.
Okay, gotcha. So the little 3-cylinder is fairly quiet. You can barely hear it at all, which is kind of nice, and I don't feel too many vibrations at all as well. So the 3-cylinder engine is now the base for all the Minis, or is it only used in this one?
No, the 3-cylinder engine is the base for all Cooper models, and yes, exclusively used in the hybrid as well for this vehicle.
Okay, so since we're getting off the highway, we might as well then switch it back to all the way up. So the first up is Auto eDrive, second up is Max eDrive. There we go. And we're back in all electric. So we are showing 12 kilometers left. If we switch off the climate, we're back up to like about 13 kilometers. So not a huge difference. And obviously you have the dual sunroofs. The front one is tilt and slide. The back one is now fixed. It doesn't tilt anymore.
That is correct. It is to allow for some natural light to come in, and it has its own independent sunshade.
And you have manual sunshades on both of them.
Yep.
Does Mini have its own branded fast charger for like home chargers?
There is one available through BMW and Mini. I believe it is the same component, so it may have a BMW badge on it.
Oh, okay.
But yes, it is available.
The wall box, basically. Really.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the pricing on it is for the Mini? Basically, it's from BMW, right?
Right. My understanding is that it's about $1,500. But I would need to confirm that.
Yeah. So the car obviously comes with its own cable for 120.
Correct.
You can plug into any 120 outlet.
Yep.
We'll check momentarily because some of the newer plug-in hybrids now provide the cable that is dual voltage. With the older EVs and PHEVs, they were only the 120s. So it'll be interesting to check whether this one actually is dual voltage or not. But it's always recommended that you should have a proper wall box installed for faster charging. The ones that come with the cars are called occasional use chargers, so they are not really meant for everyday use, even if we manage to use some of ours quite extensively and they seem to be okay, but some others reported that those 120 volt cables are sometimes tend to break down with some of the other cars. Okay, so let's pull back into the dealership. In the same spot, so we'll put it in reverse just so we can see the display of the reverse camera. So let's put it here, and so now we're gonna put it in reverse. So basically the camera appears here, so the sensors are, the display sensor is the graphic is on the left and the camera is on the right.
And you'll also see obstacle marking on the main camera view as well.
And then so now this is it's white. I think it will change colors as we approach, from what I remember.
Yep.
When it sees the opticals, yeah, it's green now, and it's yellow now, and you can hear the sensors going. So if there was another obstacle, I'm not very straight, and it's red now because it senses an obstacle.
Yep, right in the corner there.
Okay, I wanted to straighten out, but I guess now we can't. So other than that, some of the kind of display options are, if we just press the menu, this is your main menu. So what are the various displays here? The first one here, Mini Connected.
So Mini Connected allows certain smartphone users to download an app to their phone, and then the phone and the car can connect to provide some additional information or additional content, such as access to Facebook, or perhaps have the cell phone analyze your mileage. Internet radio is available through that function as well.
Okay, great. The second one is My Mini. So it's basically vehicle settings, system settings, mini country timer, driver profiles, etc., etc. We go back, navigation, the screen basically. Then we go back to the next one is your media and radio. The communication, which is your telephone basically, and address book, and the last one is notification. So this is all like emails, texts, etc., etc.
Right. As long as your smartphone supports the functionality, you can access emails or text messages via the mini central screen and have the car read those to you.
Okay, perfect. And then so the climate controls are all just manually controlled through those buttons basically.
Correct,
right?
but you can also hit the auto and it will maintain whichever temperature you set.
Okay, so it's a dual zone obviously temperature setting, and then the car is equipped with vents for the back seat as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, it's pretty simple. So these buttons, this is your start button, which is different than any other. On the other Minis, I think it's red.
That is correct. The hybrid specifically gets some of the interchange yellow accents, both for the S badge, the start-stop button, and on the exterior of the vehicle.
Okay, and obviously the heated seats, the max heating, rear defroster. So this is your automatic manual, maximum AC, and then the other seat heater. Okay, perfect. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much for today's drive.
My pleasure, Paul.
And hopefully we'll get a lot of people into your showroom to see you to test drive it, because Downtown Mini is one of the very few dealers that actually is planning to keep this vehicle here to show and be able to offer the test drives on it. So we invite everyone to come and see Brian at Downtown Mini if you want to have a look at the car and test drive it. Thanks again.
My pleasure. Thank you.